Good evening and welcome to one of our first Friday shows of March. I'm student meteorologist Paxton Fell.
And I am student meteorologist Braden Spencer.
Well, this past week's weather has been absolutely nice outside.
Finally, I'm tired of this cold weather. Finally getting to the warm springtime weather.
I know, I'm the same way. I hate the cold so much.
Yeah.
I love the sun, and today was about 88, so it was perfect. I like ranges from 70
very
to
warm,
88.
but it's going to change going into this weekend. Actually, we're going to have a lot of cloud cover this weekend, which is going to be a little sad for me. I like to see the sun come out.
I do too, but at least it's still going to be kind of warm this weekend too, so it's not going to be cloudy and cold, which is nice.
But that is a good point. But yeah, it will be warm and it will be cloudy. But what are your weekend plans?
Well, I actually have a concert thing I'm going to Sunday, but that's in Jacksonville, so hopefully their weather is maybe a little sunnier, but it's probably going to be cloudy. But otherwise, not many plans this week. Maybe enjoy the outside morning times where it's sunnier than afternoon. What about you?
I plan on going for a couple runs maybe with the cloudy weather. It's not going to be too hot, so I can be able to go outside and run and definitely get some study in for this test coming up next week. That's going to be a little rough for myself.
Oh, yeah, I have to do that too. But school, you know. Yeah, so next week's probably going to be a little less wet as compared to this weekend.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, we're going to go out and show you guys what this week is going to consist of. Going into the weekend, it's going to be a rainy weekend. Like you said, the cloud cover is going to affect the way the weather is going to change for us into the weekend. It's going to be more seasonal temperatures. It won't be as hot as it was this week. It'll be more springtime weather, and the sunshine will return on Tuesday after the rain that passes this weekend. Now, going into satellite and radar, going into Friday, going to tonight or earlier today, we can see the stationary front that came over around Alabama and Georgia. That's why we have the cloud cover also around Tallahassee, and this is going to continue and stay with us as we go through the weekend. Now going to the current temperature right now, 88 degrees in Tallahassee. We almost broke a record today. It was actually 89 degrees and was the record high here in Tallahassee. And going tonight's forecast will be mostly cloudy with the transfer rain all night. So that's going to be a little sad for us to see going into tonight.
Well, it sure is. I mean, we were talking about earlier the sun, but moving on to Eastern Europe and the UK, they actually had an eclipse over there this morning, 9:35 Greenwich Mean Time, about 5:35 our time, and you can see from this image the shadows and the sun and the eclipse going on. It's really cool, actually.
It's very cool, and I believe we haven't had one of these in 20 years.
Yeah, a big one like this hasn't occurred in 2 decades, but looking at it, a large part of the Earth's surface was plunged into darkness as the moon came between the Earth and the sun, and the shadow was extra large because it was also a supermoon.
Wow, so that just took up like all the sky. I'm sure it was millions of people that saw that in the UK?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, if 9:35 is early for me, but I don't know, maybe they were up.
Yeah, hopefully they saw it. I'm pretty sure it was very early for us. I mean, we had to be sleeping when this happened.
Yeah, I definitely was. But bringing it back locally to us in Tallahassee, it's currently 88 degrees. It's mostly cloudy, and these clouds will continue to build throughout the night and into this weekend as well. It's 59 for a dew point, so we are getting those higher dew points again, bringing in the humidity and extra moisture into our air. And across the area, again, we're in the mid to upper 80s in the Big Bend region. Cooler along the coast of St. Marks and Carabel, 88 in Tallahassee, like I was saying earlier. And as we look at satellite and radar, it was clear for most of the day, but the clouds and the northern showers have been coming into our region later tonight, and they will continue to come in across the night into tomorrow as well. But as you saw earlier this morning, it was nice and clear and sunny. Futurecast is showing that we have a stationary front across our region with a low pressure system situated in Texas with some moisture around it as well. And that's just going to keep bouncing around in Texas, just bringing them a lot of rain. But this stationary front eventually turns into a warm front in our region, bringing in some rain chances as well. And then from Saturday, it's going to move back up into our area, bringing in some more rain chances. And this low pressure system will continue to move east into our area, again bringing in all that rain. So the rain chances will be building up going into the weekend, specifically Saturday night into Sunday and also into Monday. And then for tonight, it's going to be 64. It's going to be nice and mild, mostly cloudy. Again, chance of rain all night. Both me and Brandon, we're not fond of the rain, so we're probably going to stick it indoors. But the winds are going to be nice and calm, so it's not going to be super breezy. So if you need an umbrella, it's a perfect night for that. They're not going to be blowing away in the wind. And then for tomorrow, a little bit cooler, 84. That is due to the clouds preventing the sun from coming into our area. So it's not going to be warming up as fast. And also we have more showers and isolated thunderstorms. Again, we have a calmer wind, so nothing too bad tomorrow except for a little bit of rain. So if you have outdoor plans, maybe keep them for the morning, but as we progress on into the night, it's not going to be super sunny. It's going to the clouds are just going to continue to build as that warm front approaches our area and bounces back and forth. And then as we look at the weekly outlook, we have 50% chance of rain Saturday, 60 Sunday, and then 70 Monday. And then once the front passes, it's going to be nice and sunny, a little bit of clouds, and then we have our next front occur Thursday through Friday, but the chances of rain are not as much as what they were for this weekend. And then you can also see the temperatures drop a little bit, just about 6 degrees, and then bounces right back up, back into the 80s. But the lows, they're not too bad, 50s, 60s, something we all can handle, much better than the 40s and definitely the 30s. But right now, we're going to hand it on over to Ulises for more on the southeast.
Thanks, Paxton. As we look at the southeast right now, you notice, especially over Tallahassee, the sizzle is on 88 degrees. All throughout the Sunshine State, the 80s are in control. As we go further north where the rain is, the 60s are dominating from Shreveport all the way to Atlanta. And that's part of that stationary front that will eventually sag towards us as we go into our Saturday and Sunday. Dew points throughout the Big Bend. Pretty humid, upper 50s to 60s right now, so you can definitely feel that stick factor. Very uncomfortable out there, folks. And that's really going to be the key thing now as we progress from now into the spring and eventually summer, especially with the spring just starting off in the next 35 minutes. As we break down the water vapor, a lot of moisture in the air, especially over Texas and Louisiana. There's a lot of heavy rain just pounding the Lone Star State. The rest of the southeast, however, is a little bit less moisture, but that will eventually begin to build up as we go deeper into the weekend as this frontal system pushes closer towards us. For the satellite and radar, most of the rain goes into Mississippi and Alabama. There's actually a flash flood watch in effect throughout eastern Texas and northern Louisiana in effect till tomorrow night. Accumulations are expected to get between 2 to 4 inches, and some localized areas are expected to get up to 6 inches of rain, folks. So just remember, turn around, don't drown when you're taking all those waters. It's better to take a longer route instead of leaving your car there, flood it all out by that water and rain. A lot of that sogginess you notice is south of Dallas, north of San Antonio. It's all going to eventually push towards the east very, very slowly, so Louisiana will eventually be the next to get all this rain before it pushes further east towards us into Florida and Georgia by the time we get into our Sunday and Monday. As we take a closer look at that futurecast, the rain will be over Houston by tonight into the I-10 corridor west of Tallahassee by the time we go into our Saturday. Little by little, those showers continue to meander over Texas. The rest of the southeast, however, will be a little more quieter towards South Carolina and Virginia. But as that front begins to push back into the north by Sunday, it will just be soggy all around, folks. Just have those ponchos handy from New Orleans to Montgomery and Atlanta. All that rain will conquer, so the best thing to do this weekend is just continue to watch the round of 32 of that March Madness as those teams continue to knock it out as they get ready for the Sweet 16 next Thursday. For tonight, however, those temperatures overall will be moderately mild for this time of the year. Average 47 in Tupelo, 48 in Little Rock, 64 in New Orleans. It's going to be a really warm night, especially towards Key West at 72. Tomorrow, 84 in Tallahassee, 86 in Miami. Clouds overall dominating the rain in Texas. And now we're going to send it over to the desk with Paxton and Brandon for more stories.
Thank you. What is a terrible thing about spring coming in is that the pollen season has started extra early today. It's really sad. I just get so allergic when the pollen starts coming back out.
I do too. You wipe your finger on your car, you have yellow everywhere, or you just wash your car and it comes back.
Yeah, it's just like there's no stopping it. It's like wash your car one day, come back, and they're spalling all over. There's just no point in washing your car whatsoever.
No, but there's a point in buying tissues because you go through those really fast.
So fast. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. And then Atlanta's actually suffering from it a lot more than we are here in Tallahassee.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think we were suffering most of what we've seen.
I know, but lucky for us, not lucky for them.
Yeah.
But right now we're just going to hand it on back over to the wall with Casey.
Thanks so much, guys. Let's go ahead and get into the NASA weather picture here on this Friday. We see in our area 88 degrees right now, very warm, warmer than we were expecting today, and we did set a record high at the Tallahassee Regional Airport. Temperatures further north and northeast, much cooler though. We're sitting 38 in Washington, D.C., 28 in Boston. A little warmer, though, in Minneapolis, sitting at 55 degrees. And we've seen those temperatures fall, especially over southern Texas, over the last 24 hours. 12 degrees cooler than 24 hours ago in San Antonio, and 21 degrees cooler in Dallas. But a warming trend is persistent in areas like Atlanta, 17 degrees warmer in that area. Now, satellite and radar-wise across our nation here, we see that right now we're in pretty nice conditions. But for us and for most of the southeast, those are going to change as we do get in toward the rest of the evening hours and in toward your weekend. We have some rain up toward areas around Dothan that'll be making its way closer toward us. I also have some rain in Texas I'll get into here in just a minute. But first, we'll start off with the snowy situation in the northeast. Philadelphia, New York, Hartford, Boston, getting into some pretty heavy snow. Some of these areas could pick up on the order of 4 to 6 inches. In fact, isolated areas maybe even up to 7 inches of snow. Biggest snowstorm they've seen in that area in a while. We also have some snow in North Dakota starting to kind of weaken though as we get later in toward the evening and the overnight hours. So that's some good news for them. Bismarck, that you can kind of see that starting to dwindle away a little bit in toward those areas. Into toward Texas, we do see some rain building though. Dallas down toward Austin, also Waco, College Station as well, getting into some of this rain, and even down toward San Antonio, there's even a flash flood watch in effect for this area. We do see the flash flood watch in this green color here, the potential for some flooding conditions here, and maybe on the order of 7 inches of rain, in fact, as we get in toward your weekend time frame. Now, your winter weather advisory also in effect for the northeast. They could have quite a bit of snow in toward that area. We're talking maybe 7 inches, as we've been mentioning here throughout the show. Now, 64 tonight in Tallahassee. Much cooler, though, up to the north. 37 Detroit, 21 in Minneapolis. Going off quite a bit from that temperature earlier there. And tomorrow, 84 in Tallahassee. A little warmer down toward Miami, but not much, 86 degrees. But right now, I'll go ahead and take it over to Tyler, where they look closer to home.
Yes, and as Casey told you, it was pretty warm across much of the region over the last couple of days. In fact, we reached our record high today in Tallahassee, got up to 89 degrees, breaking the record of 87 last set 4 years ago in 2011. That's about 15 degrees above the average of 75. Currently, right now, we're a little bit off, but still the record high, but still record warmth, 88 degrees. It's pretty dry outside because we are so warm. The dew points don't go up into the 70s over the summer, so at least it doesn't feel like the middle 90s like it would in July. They have that west wind at 6 miles an hour, and that's important because there's a lot of rain and cloud cover over well west near Dallas, Texas, and Houston, Texas. That westerly wind will pull the moisture further east along the I-10 corridor, bringing in a lot of rain as we go into the weekend, especially on Saturday night and into Sunday. So here's the Futurecast temperatures, and this really shows the story. 80s are common all across the state with a slight easterly wind. You can expect temperatures to cool down to the 50s, but even though it will be cooler with the clouds, we still will go up until the 80s most of the weekend. On Sunday, it'll probably be around 80 degrees because there will be about a 60 to 80% chance of rain. The highest chance of rain will be north of Interstate 10. There we could see about 1 to 2 inches of rain and some heavier pockets. For tomorrow will actually be a good boating day as long as you can stay out of the rain areas. Variable to less than 5-knot winds. That'll only have a really small impact on the amount of waves, about 1 foot. So the water is going to look like glass There's a chance of rain tomorrow. Again, that would be mainly to the west of the Apalachicola River, and the protected waters are smooth. So tonight, 64 degrees in Tallahassee. That's about 20 degrees above our average, mainly due to the low clouds and fog across the region. There is, again, a 30% chance of rain tonight, and that's also one of the reasons why it will be so warm. Going into tomorrow, middle 80s with 50% chance of rain, especially north and west. And that's about 5 degrees colder than today, even though we are still above average. And going into the 7-day forecast, 50% chance of rain tomorrow and 60% chance of rain on Sunday. Not the best weekend, but temperatures cool down and the sun comes out as we go into the early and middle parts of next week. But now let's send it back to the desk.
All right, thank you very much, Tyler. And we have a very special guest here tonight on FSU Weather. Joining us, Executive Director of the National Weather Association, Janice Bunting, visiting Florida State University this weekend. So we got her on the show from Oklahoma, so you Sooner fans, you're in good company. But thanks for coming, Janice. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you inviting me. I'm enjoying getting to see FSU.
Wonderful, wonderful. So tell us a little bit about what you do. I know television audience may not know much about the National Weather Association, about the field in general. So what do you do? Do you have fun with it?
I do have fun. I'm the Executive Director of the National Weather Association. I have been for a little over the past year. And our association is for people with an interest in weather, especially operational meteorologists. Those are the people that do the day-to-day forecasting, broadcasting, and warnings for the public and even for private interests.
Very cool, very cool. So if there was someone that may not have a background in meteorology but is still interested in the weather, what would you recommend for them to kind of get involved, start getting involved in the field just as a general public person?
Well, there's several things. There's an opportunity to become a volunteer weather observer. The Weather Service has those opportunities, and also a program called COCO-RAS that volunteers across the United States can take rainfall and snowfall measurements, and the more data we have, the better we can forecast or better know the conditions so that we can do hydrology forecasts and other things. And they can learn to be spotters, they can educate themselves about weather, and the number one thing, and then NWA, which is the National Weather Association, is a Weather Ready Nation ambassador, and we encourage everyone to understand their risks in their area and to be prepared to know what to do if disastrous weather heads their way.
And of course, our local chapter of the National Weather Association is a Weather Ready Nation ambassador, which is always wonderful. So if you had to say your favorite thing about weather, about meteorology, what do you think that would be?
Well, it's always changing, and so being a forecaster, you never get bored whatsoever. There's always something new every day to look at and exciting weather somewhere in the country or the world.
That is awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Executive Director of the National Weather Association, Janice Bunting, thank you so much for joining us. Ayesha, let's talk about what's going on out in the Sunshine State.
Thanks, guys. So right now, around the Florida area, you can see pretty consistent temperatures. 82 in Orlando, 88 in Tallahassee, looking great in Miami as well at 82. So great temperatures, that red showing all those 80s. So on your water vapor map, not much going on, pretty dry. Later on though, moisture is going to come to the top part of Florida on that panhandle right there, but that's later on during the weekend. So satellite and radar showing moisture cloud cover coming through that area near Tallahassee and Pensacola, but that's not going to happen later till the weekend. So current winds, you can see our stationary front right down here, and the wind, you can see the wind patterns changing direction, as you can see up here in Jacksonville and Tallahassee, showing that stationary front up there. But down here near West Palm Beach and Fort Myers, not much going on there, just sea breeze and good weather. So right now on our panhandle, moisture is going to come through this way from Texas, from that stationary front, and later on you'll see way more rain. Chances of rain increases on the weekend. So good for people who have allergies. That pollen's going to wash away. Much better for me. I have allergies. I want that to go away, but I want the warm temperatures to stay. So around Miami and West Palm Beach, you can see not much going on here. Great weather, Go outside, have a great day. It's looking great for spring. By the way, happy spring equinox, by the way. First day of spring. So, on the radar, big picture, not much going on, but on the top of Florida, you'll see that moisture coming in later on. So, the wind patterns are going to change throughout the weekend. That red is going to show 80-degree temperatures later on Saturday, and it's going to get up to 80 degrees. So you can see the winds changing and getting stronger as well from the stationary front turning into a warm front, which is going to increase temperatures and increase moisture in that area at the top of Florida. So showing that again, 80-degree temperatures, changing winds, and not much changing around Orlando, lower down to Miami. So for tonight's forecast around Florida, 68 in Orlando, 64 in Tallahassee, beautiful weather, not going to drop down that much. And for tomorrow's forecast, Orlando at 86, and you can see that rain up there in Jacksonville and Tallahassee, 84 in Tallahassee, good weather. Just make sure you get those umbrellas out. But I'm going to take it to John for more.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it is the first day of spring here. It happens at 6:35 is when the official time is, but sit with me for the next 14 minutes though. We're going to head outdoors here at Florida State University. The equinox is here. Oh, the time change is about an hour compared to a couple of weeks ago. Sun setting nearly 8 o'clock now, 7:49 tonight. So you've got another hour and a half before that sun will set. New moon tonight as well, so good on the waters there for some fishing. That cool front that we mentioned, the stationary front, is just towards the north, kind of lingering. It's kind of been going back and forth across I-10. It's just starting to lift towards the north now, and that's what's allowed us to get into those westerly winds, and it's also going to allow the wave cyclone to move in. We mean wave cyclone because this is going to come in and out over the next day or so, and that's going to bring in a couple of batches of rainfall across the region here. For now, though, we've got west winds 6 to 10 miles per hour across most of the Big Bend region. Winds out of the south for now. That's associated with the sea breeze down there on the coast. Temperatures down there a little bit cooler. If you've been around lately, if you've been outside, you've probably sneezed. The good news is with that rain coming in, that pollen count is going to be coming back down towards normal levels for this time of year. We had that pollen season kick in just a little bit earlier than what we would normally see. Head out onto the golf course tomorrow morning, because that's when the best time for those tee times are going to be tomorrow morning. You may only want to play 9 holes instead of 18 because those clouds are going to be increasing throughout the morning, and then the rain is going to come in during the evening hours tomorrow. Heading out on the boat tomorrow, we're looking like this. It's going to be variable winds with waves about 1 foot. Again, that sunset at about 7:50, so plenty of time to get out there on the water. 64 is where we're headed tonight. Those clouds are going to start to filter in across the southeast. 62 in Dothan, 55 with some rain cool there in Montgomery. And then for your weather wear, just bring the rain jacket tomorrow throughout the day, especially later in the day. You may want to bring that umbrella as well. Heading out for the heat, 84 degrees is where we're headed tomorrow. I don't think we'll get to that 4th day of record heat this week, but where we will be getting some more heat over in India, right, guys?
Oh, yes, it's India. Right now it's spring, but in India it's pretty much summer over there, Braden.
Yeah, you know, India's hitting temperatures in upper 90s to lower hundreds, and we're talking about, what is it, March? Yeah, it's March. So you're getting all these hot temperatures. New Delhi is actually not getting as hot, just the mid-90s, so they're not quite out of the woods, but they're not getting those really, really brutal temperatures.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really hot right now, but they actually had a pretty wet winter, so in a way this is actually really good, especially for their winter wheat crops, before that summer monsoon just begins to kick in over there.
Absolutely, and you know, back in the States, we are into spring in 20 minutes. No, 10 minutes. I'm sorry. Just jumped in time. Daylight savings. Haha. No, I'm kidding. Spring does start at 6:35, so get excited because we all know
what that means. Longer days, shorter nights, a lot more stuff to do. And just remember just to have that suntan lotion because those rays are getting stronger. But we're going to send it over to our local with Katharine to explain how our spring will start.
Good evening, y'all. We're having a really great day in Tallahassee, and I hope you're enjoying the temperatures because we're going to see a little bit of rain coming this weekend. We're looking at 88 right now. Moderate wind, so that's pretty swell. But as we move in around the region, you can see pretty hot temperatures. We're looking at 88 in Tallahassee, 76 in Carabel, so they're doing pretty well, 84 in Bainbridge, so pretty consistent around the region, but still pretty warm overall. As we look at our cloud cover over Tallahassee, you can definitely see some of these clouds moving in, and you'll be seeing that through the weekend and even through the early week when you see a little bit more rain than we've been seeing. We've had beautiful days, but maybe not so much over the next couple of days. For tomorrow, if you're planning on heading out on your boat, it's going to be awesome temperatures, pretty short waves, so that's pretty good. Variable winds less than 5 knots, sunrise at 7:40 a.m., so make sure you check that out. If you can make it before the rain comes, that'll be excellent. If we're looking into our future, we're going to see tonight we're at 76 in Tallahassee, 72 in Pensacola, and Key West is sitting awesome at 76 as well. So that's going to be great. And as we move in through tomorrow morning, you can see a little bit of a cool down. And even in through tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, we're going to be hitting back up to the 80-degree temperatures. And again, Key West is sitting pretty awesome. So now we're moving through Saturday night, so an early Sunday morning, cooling off to 60 degrees again in Tallahassee. And as we move into Tallahassee tonight, we're going to see 64 degrees, 30% chance of rain, mostly cloudy. So if you're looking for a night to stay in with a good book and a cup of tea, tonight would be your night. Mostly rainy all night, but pretty calm wind. For tomorrow, we're looking at an overcast morning around 8 a.m., showers and thunderstorms around 3 p.m., and you're going to see the rain is continuing through the night, but pretty good temperatures, 65 all the way up to 80 degrees, so that's pretty good. And we're looking through the week ahead. You can see Saturday we're going to have lots of rain, 50% chance of rain, and moving on through Sunday and Monday too, so make sure that while you are planning your week ahead, you are keeping in mind those forecasts. I would say if you're going to do anything tomorrow, you would do it early. Enjoy that sunrise, enjoy the sunshine, but it will be coming back on Tuesday, even on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday, we're going to see partly cloudy, 30% chance of rain on both days, and it'll be warming up. Well, I guess it's pretty warm already, but it'll be cooling off a little Tuesday and Wednesday, and then warming back up Thursday and Friday. So now we're going to send it back to the desk with Braden and Ulises.
All right, thank you very much, Katharine. And, you know, we've been talking about the men's basketball tournament a little bit. Round of 32 starting this weekend. But where the real games are, especially in Tallahassee, is the women's basketball tournament starting 3 games at the Tucker Civic Center tomorrow for the NCAA women's tournament, kicking it off.
Yeah, so, I mean, the FSU women are also playing this weekend. They're in the tournament as a 3-seed.
2-seed, actually. First time a 2-seed has ever come from Florida State University, playing Alabama State at 1:30. Oklahoma State also playing at the Tuck at 11 a.m. Going to be a very interesting weekend in Tallahassee. A lot of schools playing 4 games actually being played tomorrow as well. But that 7-day forecast, it's going to be a little rainy, so make sure you bring an umbrella for your commute out to the basketball games.
Yes, just remember to have that umbrella handy all the way through Monday. The good news is those temperatures have finally dropped down to more respectable values. We can finally say, to the relief of all that heat that we experienced this week, especially near 90 degrees. Morning lows back to seasonable values, sort of.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed your little taste of summer because we're going to get back into spring. But as always, like us on Facebook.com/FSU Weather, follow us on Twitter.com/FSU Weather, and watch us anytime on Livestream.com/FSU Weather. We are 5 minutes away from the official start of spring. The cold temperatures are gone, the winter is over, and I'm ready for some spring fever. Springtime Tallahassee coming to you March 28th. Hope you enjoy it. I am student meteorologist Braden Robinson.
And I'm meteorologist Ulises Garcia, and just remember, spring is only in 15 minutes away. Have a great night.